Hey there folks, and welcome back for another video. I'm your host CDB or Chris, and today what are we going to do? We are going to use Maggard, and this one is limes and bergamot. Really nice soap made by Maria Arman of Through the Fire Fine Crafts. This is an older soap. I want to say it's at least 4 years old, maybe older even. As such, it's not as fragrant as it once was. I would call the scent strength on this one about 4.5, a little under medium at this point, but it is an older soap, so you have to take that in consideration. Let me give you a look at the ingredients. So right there, you see your ingredients for this soap. It's kind of difficult to read because it's on the front of the label here, but hopefully you can freeze that and check them out if you're interested in that. We are going to wet the face here and start applying the pre-shave. By the way, the cost on this one is $14.95. It is $3.73 per ounce, so not a bad PPO on that. Anything under $4 an ounce for me is you know, in the area of thumbs up. At $4 an ounce, I start to wince. At $5 an ounce, I start to cry. So that's just my personal chart. It doesn't have to be yours, so please keep that in mind. Okay. Let's put on a little RazoRock pre-shave. And so we had a good video that we put up yesterday that people enjoyed using the PAA CAD. So thank you very much for all the comments in there and the really good participation. I have been enjoying that. Honestly, I never knew that I would enjoy just participating in the comments, but it's been really enjoyable. And I don't think I've ever really done that, and I don't know why I didn't do it sooner. Oh, I forgot to tell you what I was going to use for the razor, and that's usually a key piece of information that people are worried about. We're going to use the Micromatic Open Comb Single Edge razor, and I always pick this up after I get the pre-shave on my hands, and now my hands are slippery. Anyway, it uses a blade that resembles a paint scraper. It's not actually a paint scraper blade, but it is of that style. This is a gem blade. Anyway, it's twist to open and close. And there you see the blade. And so for the brush, we're using the Semogue 2-band Finest. I believe that's what it is. And so let's go ahead and sort of work this pre-shave in just a little bit before we get started and try to get some of it off my hands so I don't have the razor slipping. One of the things I've noticed is since I've been using pre-shaves and I get the pre-shave on my hands get slippery, and now grip can become an issue. When I didn't use pre-shaves, my hands really didn't get slick, and so it wasn't an issue at all. But now I have to really make sure I use a cloth or something and try to remove that from my hands because it's pretty doggone slick, if you want to know the truth about it. I hope everyone had a great day or will have a great day today. Depends on when you're watching, I guess. And so let's get to lathering. Again, using the Maggard's Lime and Bergamot soap you haven't seen here for a long time. Just haven't used it. I like the scent. It's a beautiful lime scent. It's a very good lime scent. We will hope to be successful with this brush. Again, as you know, if you're a regular viewer of the channel, I don't use natural hair brushes a lot, but because people have wanted to see them, I've gotten some, and so we're gonna roll with them. I prefer synthetics because of performance, because of, you know, quick drying, quick care. Everything about them is generally a little easier. That doesn't necessarily make it better, but it is easier. There's less maintaining, and the one thing about this brush, it's quite prickly. It is not soft to the touch, like so. When you put that to your face, you feel those hairs being quite prickly. Whereas my synthetics, if you touch that to your face, it's quite soft. And so that's what I like. Again, for me, I'm not a big exfoliate with a brush guy. I just, you know, it's not my thing. Really not for me. But if you dig it, you know, that's fine. One of the things I want to do, and I'm going to make a challenge video for a challenge, but one of the things I want to challenge the larger wet shaving community to do. And it's something that I'm doing myself. So I'm not going to ask you to do something that I'm not doing myself. Keep that in mind. I want to challenge the larger community and you viewers to get out of your comfort zone a little bit, to get out of your clique a little bit if you're in one. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing in and of itself. But we all tend to gravitate towards certain products that we love, and that's natural. And we're all tribal in nature. That feels really good, by the way. Really nice. Anyway, we're all tribal by nature. But one of the things that I'm encouraging folks to do, and I'm doing myself, is try some different brands. Revisit some old brands that maybe you didn't like and see how things have changed. Because when I tried CAD yesterday, it is pretty dramatically changed since the last time I tried it. And take it from me. Look, I'm someone who has traditionally kind of poo-pooed reformulation, but I can tell you, if I don't think the difference in formulations between, say, version 5 and 6, it's incremental. But between versions 1 and 6, it might be quite a difference. So keep that in mind. Again, when new information comes to light and I experience something new, I'm going to tell you. So what I'm saying here is the reformulation that I tried yesterday versus what I tried maybe 3 or 4 ago, there was quite a difference. And so even though I have traditionally, I've been a little skeptical of reformulations, and that is not to say that artisans aren't doing anything different. I'm not criticizing them. I'm just saying, I've always said it's basically an incremental change. It's not huge. But if you're jumping many versions, let's say you have a really old version, there might be a significant change. I noticed that yesterday. So I want to encourage you to get out there and try things that are a little out of your comfort zone. And forget everything you know about those products and just try it and evaluate it based on the product itself. And see what you think. See if there are some redeeming qualities. And so I'm going to make a special challenge video about that subject. But anyway, I hope you will try that, because that's what I'm going to be doing. Trying to, try some brand new stuff. Try some old stuff that I haven't used for a long time and just see where things are. Now, granted, you can use something like Williams Mug Soap. I said Mugs. I was going to say Mug Williams Soap. Anyway, you can use something like Williams Mug Soap and get a good shave. There was a guy I was watching today. I think his name is, what was his name? I think I wrote it down. I think it's Fuzzy Shaves or something like that. And I apologize if I'm getting it wrong. I will, I'll put it in the comment right there. Again, I'm getting this stuff all over my hands and it's quite slippery. I think his name was Fuzzy Shaves. And he was using Williams Mug Soap. And he had some really funny, what he was saying. He had said something about blooming. He said, there ain't no blooming going on here because I ain't raising no flowers today or something like that. And I got a chuckle at that. I just thought it was funny. And he has a different approach, like entirely to wet shaving than most hobbyists. Or at least, I'm saying it based on one video. So obviously I can't paint a full picture. But it was entertaining. And he was doing things his own way. I really liked it. Now, I know some people will be put off by it, maybe, but he was calling it like he saw it and he was like, look, I use Williams. It works great, And he lathered the way he wanted to. And so I encourage you all to do the same. Like, whatever works, go with it. But please keep an open mind. That's one thing that I'm trying to do here. And by the way, this soap smells a little more fragrant as it's on my face, but I'd still say it was, a little under medium perhaps. But I've always liked Maria Arman's soap. She has, again, Through the Fire Fine Craft. And I think now they have like vehicle themed soaps or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Last I saw. But this one here and London Barbershop at Maggard, really good. That London Barbershop is one of my favorite barbershop scents from Maggard razors. Okay, so let's see how we're doing. So we're not doing too bad today with the old Badger. It's getting me where I need to be in terms of the lather that I need. And lather your way. Lather in the way that best suits your needs. That's really important. And if you're you know, if you're a newer hobbyist who's a content creator, don't be concerned if people are cracking on your lather. People crack on my lather. I don't care. Because the ultimate measurement, and I keep saying over and over, and I keep saying this over and over with the hope that people are going to pick up on it, is how did the shave go? And so far, the shave is going well. And for some reason today, this open comb Machromatic feels a little smoother than the clog proof. I don't know why. It could be that this is now like 3 or 4 shaves on this blade. Now these blades, you can get a little more mileage out than your Garden Variety DE blade. And I shaved with the clog proof on the first shave with this blade, and it wasn't quite as smooth as this is. So maybe it's just a little roughness out of the blade. I don't know, but in any event, it's a nice, comfortable shave. And that's really, ultimately, that's what we're after, and that's why we're doing this. There'd be no reason to do it other than that. And also, of course, enjoying these products and this scent, that's really important to me, and it's the reason why I do it. The scents are just so enjoyable and relaxing, and you can have fun just sort of taking it in. You know, it's on your face and when you're lathering it, and that's why people, I think, are drawn to this hobby. In part is it's a nice way to start your day. At least it is for me, and I certainly hope it is for you as well. So I'm going to be visiting with my folks and in-laws over the weekend, but I'm going to try to do some content and have some, you know, content ready to go. And so thank you, by the way, for everybody who has rejoined and have stopped by and have made comments. Boy, there's 2 guys, 3 Stooges and Fernando. I post a video, and I'm a really early riser, super early. And I'll post a video, and those guys are like, bam, and it's like 4:30 in the morning. In the United States, I'm on Eastern time. By the way, one of the things that you may not realize if you're a new content creator, newer, in wet shaving, folks, the U.S. is a large country, but if you look at your views, and honestly, I never looked that much to see where people are coming from. Only about half of the views are coming from the United States. Like the rest of my viewers, like half are coming from outside the United States, which is, it's terrific. I, for one, think that's very positive because this hobby is worldwide and it transcends barriers, and I think that's super cool. And anytime you can transcend barriers and find something in common, I think that's fantastic. So I have people who don't speak English who will post in, say, Spanish, and I don't really speak Spanish. I know a handful of words. So I'll sometimes they'll post in Spanish, and I'll put it in a translator to reply back because, you know, I don't know what it says. And so anyway, a lot of people do speak English outside the United States, though, and a lot of folks who are, wow, I'm getting ready to lather my eye up because I'm busy jacking my jaw here. Anyway, a lot of people do speak English, and so thank you. Thank you, international viewers. There are a lot of you, so thanks so much. We really appreciate it. And they're all over the world. There's, I don't know how many countries. I was looking at the list last night, and it's basically every country you can imagine. And so this hobby transcends, you know, nation borders anyway, continent borders, and all sorts of things. I think that's great, you know. And our goal, or at least my goal here is to keep putting content out that if someone were to stumble on it, they would go, hey, you know, that looks like fun. Not content where if somebody stumbled on it, they go, gosh, why is that guy angry? You know, and so that's one of the things that occurred to me recently. When I was doing the last pass, by the way, supermarket shaves, and I realized that, hey man, without these artisans and vendors, yeah, we'd have Amazon and we'd have the traditional soaps like Mitchell's Wolf had and great stuff. Don't get me wrong. but we'd have a fraction of the choices we have if these vendors and people who are making equipment weren't around. And they rely on us to be around. And in order for that to happen, we need a fresh supply of new users coming in, buying gear. Because all of us who have been, fairly long-time hobbyists, we don't buy as much as we used to. So the vendors can't rely on just the old-timers. They need new people coming in all the time. And so for that to happen, we need to really be taking down barriers and making it a welcoming community for everybody, regardless of what type of soap they like or which vendor they like, or, you know what I mean? So if you only gravitate to certain vendors, I'm asking you, look outside that. You try some other things. You might be impressed. Try some things you haven't tried for a long time. Let's make it a rising tide lifts all ships, as they say. So the more broadly we can participate and showcase things, the better. At least that's my view. And I hope you agree, or at least understand it. And so, if you're excluding people, I'm asking you to reconsider, and I'm doing the same, because it is important, critically important, that all of us who are content creators, whether it be video, whether it be traditional forums, Facebook, Twitter, it is critically important that we're welcoming to new people and encouraging. And we should also be encouraging fellow content creators. So please try to do that. I'm asking you to. I'm doing it myself. It's nothing I'm not doing myself or willing to do. So thank you very much. All right. How has this shave been? Very good. Very good soap. Very good scent. Let me rinse down. We will come back and give you the post. Stay tuned. And we are back with the magic made by witches. I mean, no offense to witches. I almost said winches. I'm sorry, this isn't a pirate-themed shave today. No offense if you're a witch. It's witch hazel, I gotta be careful about the jokes, because the IMCDB thing was a joke, and a lot of people didn't get the reference. I'm forgetting now that the 1970s is a far distance in the past, and that younger people may not get it. And also, since half the viewers are not from within the U.S., there are cultural differences, and people just may not get things you say. So this is a joke. The magic, because it's made by witches, I want to be clear about that. Because some people just don't get it or understand, and so I don't want to give people the wrong idea. Okay, let's talk about the gear. Gem Micromatic. This was a nice smooth shave today. I think this is the 4th shave on this blade. The open comb today was smoother than the regular clog proof. I don't know why. Could be that the blade is just sort of broken in and the rough edges are off it, but it was really good. And these things, usually you can find them, 20 bucks, maybe less, maybe slightly more on eBay. Probably 50s vintage, terrific razors. I enjoyed it. The Semogue 2-band Finest, it did its work. It did its work, but I'm not really a fan of it. It's very prickly, and I can feel it on my face. I would prefer, a knot that's a little softer. This one just isn't all that soft. It's very prickly, but it did what it needed to do. The Maggard limes and bergamot. If you like lime scent, this is a very good one, and comes from a good vendor at a fair price. So check it out. It is very, very nice. Of course, we use the RazoRock Pre-Shave Cube. And to finish things off today, we shall use the Captain's Choice Nor'easter. And to me, this reminds me of sort of Drakkar, the cologne, if you're familiar with that. That's the vibe it gives me. And that's just my spin on it. Ah, yes. Woo, I like that. Very nice. I love that scent. So I don't know if that's what inspired the scent, but it's what it reminds me of. So that's my take on it. It may not be at all what the aftershave is inspired by, but it's really nice. I dig the scent. I like the way it feels on my face, and I believe there's some menthol in there because I'm getting some cooling. Okay, I could go all day, but I'm not. I want to thank everybody for joining me. Until next time, I've been your host, CDB, and I'm saying God bless.